Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, so let's do a spine of fire reading and see where the masculines and the feminines are regarding all the different chakra levels and their intentions, their ideas about coming into union at this time. So thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through for the amazing collective that joins me here. What can we see for the masculines and the feminines regarding all the different union points of merge, connection, levels of interaction? For the masculines, I've got some emotions connected with those levels, and for the feminines, I've got some energetics. What can we see for the DFs? A couple more decks. I keep thinking I'm going to do a bit of a shorter reading, and now I have 7 decks out on the table. We'll see how quickly I can talk. And the last deck for the feminines, energetics. Okay, crown chakra, what do we have? The first card we have is public awareness of this connection. So both are running their higher guidance through regarding this connection being more in the community limelight, I just heard. So any of the things that would need to be balanced, to clear, to make way for this connection in front row and center in the lives of the counterparts, that's what's being given higher guidance right now. So what can we see for the masculines? Living situation and feeling blocked. So there actually might be some kind of concerns for the masculines about house and home, about where they're going to live, about their housing situation. Take it how it resonates. There seems to be some sort of a blockage or an issue with their living situation at this time. What is the emotion connected with that? Blame, but it's in the inverse. So I accept responsibility for my well-being. So I'm getting that the masculines are stepping out of thinking of feminine energy as momming energy and taking more accountability for their own well-being and their own provision for living situation. There's something about graduating to more of a generational rite of passage where the masculines are stepping into ownership of their emotional connection to their living scenario. So I'm getting that they're growing up, they're leaving the nest, they are wanting an equal partnership, they want true nurture, they want some kind of a circumstance that's going to be a home. Home is where the heart is. Like they want to create foundational home energy, and they want to be able to own that, speak that into community. They want to be able to get behind their living situation. They don't want to push the blame onto anyone else. Some might be leaving their mother's homes at this time or looking for strategies to unhook from the generational nest in order to make their own way, to individuate. Take all those as it resonates. How are the feminines navigating more into the public awareness of these connections? Queen of Wands and the Ace of Wands. So in the inverse, this Ace of Wands is talking about life purpose emerging on a new level of influence into community, into the public spotlight. So the feminines are working on their influence into the world and poised and ready for taking whatever their established input contribution is to a next level regarding this partnership. So there's something in the energy where the feminines know or will be seeing their missions up leveling as these unions come in further, that the feminines have taken their spiritual energetic work to a level that would be benefited to grow together in these partnerships. What is the energetic card? Authenticity, uniqueness, and integration. Yes, so the feminines have won their uniqueness, is what I'm hearing. Their special brand, their modality, their voice, their style, their namesake. They have coined their offering into the world to some degree here, or have identified the talents and gifts that will be utilized that way. And so now there are those new and unusual combinations that can come in with the masculines here. It looks like the masculines need to settle into a new living scenario, and that right now they're at a standstill to try and determine what that's going to be without feeling animosity for what it is now or what it has been in the past. They've got to let go of blame about things that haven't worked out. So higher guidance is inspiring the feminines to continue working on their uniqueness, and the masculines are being removed from victim blame regarding root chakra, home situation. And both of them are preparing these purges, clearing, elevations in their own lives for public awareness of these connections. So it's leading that way. The masculine's home situations might result in these connections coming together on the home front, and therefore being common knowledge now into community. So this can be living together or taking that next step into marriage, if that resonates. But there's something that it's the next logical step for the two to come together here and be common knowledge that they are associated in some way. What is the third eye chakra? Chariot in the inverse. So these things need to balance. The chariot usually has two sphinxes in unison going forward, or they're parked and not moving. In the inverse like this, they're not moving until these things are secured, until the masculines release blame about their prospects in the world, and the feminines really embrace their own uniqueness without already being in union with spiritual mission or that sort of a thing with their masculine. They have to completely come into ownership of their specific path prior to these connections coming through. And so now each are being invited energetically to determine, intuit what the steps need to be to continue to move these things forward. There seems to be a little bit of a pause while each gathers their thoughts about these downloads they're getting and these directions that they're being guided to go in. What are the masculines experiencing on the third eye? Yeah, so we got the Six of Wands, which was that higher guidance card. The masculines are being prepped energetically to make decisions to bring these connections further into public knowledge. They have to get behind it internally first. So whatever the solutions are that they're downloading about living situation, about bringing the relationships into the next level, aligning with the home-based frequency that they find in their connection with the feminine, as the masculines integrate this, that's helping to move the connections forward, but they have to feel it internally and embrace it before they can take the action. Right now, they're starting to get these intuitive hits. With the moon card, this might be at late at night when this is happening. It might be connected with the next full moon and the kinds of awarenesses that are ripe in the energy. But this can also be that it's hidden even from them, that some of the instructions they're getting are going to put them naturally in position to be aligned more with their feminine, but they don't see that coming, that they are just now waking up to ways of looking at solving their home situation that hadn't dawned on them before, that has been shrouded from them. How do they feel in this? Indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of my life. So they're starting to be presented with crossroads, with left path, right path choices. And some of those choices are going to bring them into more knowing or more obvious connection with the feminine than others. And those choices are the ones that seem to be laid out in front of the masculines right now. They are the necessities. They are the ones that make sense. They are the simple path forward. They are the most abundant. They are the available. It's almost like in the energy, the masculines are only going to be given one choice, but they don't see how relevant it's going to be to the unions just yet. But that's what they're being guided to do. And it's not like it's a slippery slope or past the point of no return. But once they keep going down these paths that they're guided, they lift their head up and they're smack dab into union readiness. Like it just clicks, it just makes sense, and they didn't see it coming kind of energy. It makes short work out of indecision when we are aligned with what is best for us and we say yes to it. It does bring in everything that is best for us. So when we are just self-focused, it's not selfish. When we're really looking at what sits well with our soul, there is no indecision. There's only one right choice in any given moment. And the masculines are being brought straight into more proximity with the feminines due to those choices that are authentically best for them. We want this feminines because we don't want them doing it for us or trying to make it work and, compromising. We want thriving on both sides. And so this is the masculines really being self-directed, connected to higher power, making these decisions, and it is still bringing them intuitively into alignment, even if they don't see it. Many times, feminines, you have your masculine on a pedestal and an assumption that they are a strategist that is conscious of all the things that should be done and they're just withholding. That's not the case. They're being as true to their higher knowing as they possibly can at all times. And yes, sometimes that doesn't go the way that the feminines want that, but this is also why we adore them, because they are very, very self-directed and confident when they do say yes. What are the feminines' intuition telling them? Wheel of Fortune. So the feminines feel something big coming. They have never been so free and clear to pursue and poised and ready for whatever it is that's about to come forward. The masculines are being guided forward. They're being ushered forward by their intuition, by higher guidance right now, but they don't necessarily see what's coming in its entirety. There is divine intervention happening here, feminines. So things might not look like they're moving forward, but rest easy because divine guidance is bringing it in. Again, you don't think you'd be sitting pretty in this free and clear to pursue readiness if something wasn't in store for you. What is the energetic message for the feminines? Peace, healing, gentleness, non-judgment. So don't be overly cynical, skeptical, critical, condemning at this point. Be in an attitude of openness, receptivity, and let it unfold. Watch and wait, I just heard. But don't stagnate. Don't stunt. Keep living your life. What can we see for the throat chakra? Okay, the blockages. We just saw this Two of Swords for the masculines. They're being told maybe not to talk to anybody outside of themselves, not to jinx it, about their living situation, about the downloads they're getting to make changes in their situation. But on the throat chakra, we're getting sort of this need to know sharing of information. some curiosity about what it is for each counterpart. In the upright, there's an impasse. There's like a no-go zone, checkmate, a deal breaker, a blockage. In the inverse, this is, wait a second, what is going on here? Maybe there is a need for a little bit more information. So there might be some communication squeaking in between the lines, maybe a cat being let out of the bag, little bits of things popping up in the energy that tips the other one off, that there's new movement, there's new thought, there's new openness, new ideas. So it seems like there's a little bit of a shift in the way that the two are talking, that some information kind of leaks out without, it's unassuming. The energy I'm getting is that it's subtle and it transfers without even intending to. It's just pulled from each other in the energy somehow. So that can be directly or indirectly. Take that how it resonates. What can we see for the masculines here? Yeah, they're kind of feeling left out in the cold. So this can also be a housing situation, or starting to feel too nomadic, wanting to put down roots. This is a root chakra. So for some of these masculines who have been in the wild and free, the running energy, this could be wearing on them. They're weary souls. They might just, be going nowhere fast and making busy all the time. But this is saying they're wanting to put down roots. They could be thinking of children. The Ace of Pentacles can be conception, or really grounding the connection, having a better sense of grounding. With the 5 and the Ace here, that's 6 of Pentacles, which is reciprocity. So they may just want to now invest in something that is a give and take, instead of being that lone wolf kind of energy, or always on the go and never really truly sinking into the comfort, unwinding into the connection. There's a sadness here. It's past its expiration date kind of thing. So there's just little glimmers that might be popping up in things that they're saying to others, things that they may share with you, divine feminines. There's a bit of a change. What is the emotion connected to it? Growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. Yeah, so they've done what they can on their own in that lone wolf energy, and they're wanting to now expand their consciousness and awareness by starting to have mature, conscious conversation about the things that they've been integrating while on this solo journey of conscious exploration. The only place to grow is together now, and who better to grow with than a conscious lover? This is so beautiful and synergistic. What can we see for the feminines on this throat chakra? The Return and Queen of Swords. Look at how this Queen of Swords has that 2 of Swords there. So the Queen of Swords has kind of, one's behind her, one's in the front. She's gotten in the middle, that truth spot, the meeting place. She's placed herself right in that curious location between right and wrong, between their masculine and themselves. The feminine is open to seeing both sides of the story from the middle, from the harmonized aspect. And this is about the coming back around. The 4 of Cups is a prodigal return energy. So the feminines are open to seeing and curious about what it would take to bring this connection back around. I know I've been starting to have casual daydreams about how that would feel. So I know personally it's in the energy that up for consideration. I feel like I'm genuinely curious how my person would feel if they came back around, if they, spoke about wanting to change their situation and come closer, what their reasoning would be, what the value in coming nearer at this point would be, how I would know if they were sincere, And, after all that's said and done, what would it take? And so I'm being primed in the energy as a divine feminine to be open to understanding what that would mean for me, what I would need to understand in order to feel peace about that kind of return. What is the advice for the feminines? Bliss, aspiration, and realization. So now that the feminines have integrated their uniqueness, now it's going to be, does this return, does this progression, this merge, allow for the bliss to remain and grow? Is there enough spaciousness in the connection to not stifle the hard-won freedom and joy that's available on one's own? Will it add benefit into the connection? Will it become exponential? Can there be a synergy now? Are there shared aspirations that the two can channel together? So this also might mean that there will be little whispers and shares with destinies, the downloads that each counterpart has been getting about what they would like to be experiencing as individuals going forward. Some of those hopes and dreams might start to be shared here. Some of the ideas, the innovations, the visions for the future. So even through social media, there might be some posting, shares about these ideas or tip-offs in the energy. What can we see on the heart space? Knight of Pentacles. So continuing to give each other or oneself those reality checks that are aware of the foundation being laid in specifically what love really is. So each counterpart has opportunities to see a shift in perception and feel in the body, in the heart space, the reality of a better way, a deeper love, grounding, emerging, aha moments, those kinds of things. So each on the heart space are getting these aligned, settled, peaceful understandings of what it feels like to be safe and cherished and adoring in love, is what I'm hearing. How are the masculines experiencing this? They're putting down their guard and they're feeling the passion. This is a phallic energy, so the sensual connection might be ramping up for the masculines. They might be fantasizing more. They might be fantasizing and then have the feminine's energy come in and envelop them. There's something about their letting the feminine be their muse sensually again, because they have laid enough of a foundation internally where they don't risk losing themselves. There's room in their experience for the feminine now. They're not swayed, overpowered by the intensity of the connection. They've come into enough of a embodiment in their own right to now feel capable of holding their own with the feminine's essence, spiritual acuity. They're now becoming more attracted to that, less guarded about it, more intrigued. Whoa. And surrender. Yeah. 2 cards of surrender. This is putting down the guard, healing the wounding, being turned on by the high frequency rather than repressed sexuality. They're now here for ecstatic experiences. I can release my need to control. So they're not trying to control the rate of this process by keeping the feminine at arm's length. There is a surrender to that, and it's like they're dropping their guard because it's safe now for whatever reason, circumstantial, emotional, mental, whatever it is. They're allowing for the feminine to make them feel good now, and they're genuinely feeling better by the feminine's energy than they have at certain times in the past where it felt off to them. What are the feminines experiencing on the heart space with this foundational level? Well, the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. So they're feeling this shift from the masculines. So feminines, you might be feeling the passion again. You might be feeling sensual energy telepathically. You might be inspired to buckle down and do some sort of work that's been procrastinated. You might be getting a new wind in your sails because the masculines are sexually manifesting the connection and fantasizing. So you might be starting to feel the winds of change with projects that you've got on the go. You might be getting bursts of creative energy. I'm hearing that's coming from your masculine right now because they are dropping the need to resist, and they're consciously or unconsciously focusing energy in your direction right now. Advice, spiritual gifts, mystery, enchantment, and secrets. So your discernment is up-leveling. You're picking up on extra resourceful energy from your extra resource in the form of energy from your masculine. So whereas the feminine used to chase and the masculine's egos were stroked and utilized that excess abundance of energy that the feminines give to the masculines in that chasing mode, the masculines had used that for as a battery pack in karmic situations to stay with it and sort of like make do well beyond when they were supposed to let go, for instance. The masculines are now beginning to funnel that energy towards the feminines. They're thinking about the feminines more deliberately, with less resistance, with more of a smile, a sweet smile on their face, I just heard. They're cherishing their feminine. There's a justified focus. It's not so annoying, like it's nagging at them that their feminine is on their conscious mind so much. Now it's intentional. They're finding, I'm hearing that they've got a crush. They're smitten. They're enjoying the visions that they're having about the sweetness. It's not just so lusty anymore. They're also surrendering to the wholesome aspect of the feminine. And this is helping hone the clarity. When there isn't so much disintegration in the energy, feminines, your intuition, your spiritual gifts appear clearer and crisper. And so that high frequency ability to be an optimist, to be productive, that is easier to access when all involved are in that higher frequency and not in suffering. So you're going to see your intuition being more on point and more accurate with things across the board in your life. Very nice. So masculines, when you pour into your connections, your feminine's spiritual gifts up level, and that serves everybody involved. And it's not taking from you. It's how the masculines are the givers, the feminines are the receivers, but the feminines then, gift their compassion into the world, and they do make your world go round in exchange. It's a feedback loop that you want to cultivate. What is on the solar plexus chakra? Empress. So this is the abundance. This is the timeline convergence. This is where it becomes more abundant to come together than to stay in our own lanes. So there's something kicking off where there are new abundance channels being opened up for the two to collaborate, to share financial responsibilities. Remember, this isn't enmeshment, but this is win-win scenarios. This is interdependence for the purpose of sustainable abundance, for growth. What are the masculines experiencing here on this empowerment level? Ooh, King of Swords and Ace of Swords. They're making legal decisions to cut out of contracts that prevented them from being in partnership with the feminine. They're cutting out of lower vibrational contracts that negate the spiritual essence, the intuitive guidance, the moral truth that the feminine mirrors for the masculine. So anything low vibe is being X'd out. And the masculines are realizing how safe they are regarding their abundance, their finances, their legal decisions with someone with the character and integrity of their feminine. So there ain't no gold diggers around here. But at the same time, the feminines are also not rejecting the masculines and saying that they don't need no masculine in their life. The masculines know that no matter which way they look at it, their feminine is a solid choice. Now, that is something, masculines, that when you come back around, you can say to your feminines that will convince them that you have learned a thing or two about them being, if you can tell them actually why you value them specifically and pinpoint the reasons why they have shown you integrity, character, and why you value that, that is going to be a really good ace up your sleeve to break the ice with if you want to come back in. Beautiful. So masculines know that this is an abundant doorway and it's empowering for both to team up. Success. Yes, exactly. So I know that there is no greater goal than to love. So these are some of the valid reasons. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. List the ways for your feminine masculines. Tell them specifically what it is about them that you know has the makings of great success. Success beyond measure because of the magic that the two of you bring to the table. The way that you have this compatibility. Really do that, masculines, so that you have that list in your back pocket to show your feminine what you actually love about them and how the two of you can generate not only love but abundance in the world because of the purity of your true connection, no matter how you look at it. Be in this truth. So yeah, feminines, your masculines are seeing the light. What can we see for the feminines? King of Cups and Page of Swords. So yeah, feminines are very curious about how the masculines actually feel. So masculines, the way that you can show how you feel about your feminine is to use your beautiful masculine mind, your analytical mind, to show them how thoughtful you have been about the compatibility and about the potential that you see here, about the reality of what you have learned about your feminine. When your feminine asks you to tell them how you feel about them, they're not necessarily asking to hear you say, you give me goosebumps, or I get turned on around you all the time. Those are good, but they want to know that you've actually invested your beautiful intellect and thought of them deeply, have looked at those things. They want to hear that about you and about the way you think. They want to know why your feelings are justified. So that's beautiful. And vice versa. Feminines, your masculines want to have more of a practical, accessible understanding of why you feel drawn to specifically them. They want to be important to you. They want to be celebrated and cherished for specific reasons, not just because you don't want to be alone, or you want to be in love, or you want to live with someone because it's cheaper, which isn't necessarily true. Real things. So yeah, feminines, give some deep consideration to what it is you specifically love about your masculine. Not how your masculine benefits you per se, but the attributes that you value in your masculine. And look at the things that you value in yourself. That is why you need to know your worth to receive a love like this, because you have to have the confidence that you know that you are worthy of such an amazing masculine choosing you, so that you're not going to kibosh it or sabotage it out of imposter syndrome. You have to know yourself this way. You have to know your masculine this way. And what is backing these emotions? So this process of really seeing the true soul affinity, the character, the integrity, the compassion of each, that is what can be exchanged here, that makes way for the foundation for abundance here. What is the advice for the feminines? Star body matrix, multidimensional consciousness, and holographic information. Yeah, exactly. So when you find it within yourself for your masculine and yourself, that holographic or fractal holographic information is magnified out into what the two of you influence and contribute and represent into the world. When you have it on the home front, it's emanated out into the next sphere of influence. If you are in disintegration, you don't have abundance in the world, because that energetic quagmire is leaking energy here, and it doesn't streamline out to the next level of experience. It sets up a diffraction pattern, a scrambled pattern, and it's not productive. We don't have a productive output when we're in disintegration. Likewise, you can't fake it and uphold a false persona or image in the world. Not in this new energy, not like some used to get away with in an old energy. It's changing. Authenticity, alignment is the most energetically backed frequency now. So if you can come into that for yourself, it is a fractal holographic template that causes that to be out in the next level of experience, and so on and so on. What can we see for the sacral chakra? Ending of burden. Oh, we got two. Putting down the guard and the ending of burden. So we had this 9 of Wands with the masculines finding, okay, that's so interesting, because the 9 of Wands came out with the Ace of Wands, which is the 10 of Wands, and we get the 10 of Wands and the 9 of Wands here in the sacral. And we were talking about the passion and the sexual manifestation and fantasizing of the masculines. And now on the sacral, which is our sexual chakra, our divine channeling, our creative chakra, we're also getting that same dropping the guard, letting go of the burden that has caused resistance, that has blocked the sexual romantic aspects, or has guarded it so that when these connections come into sacred union, that it's safe to hold on and never let go in such an honoring way, that it's not pretentious or fake, but it's authentic. So service and contribution and that output, the abundance, the ambition, the contribution out into the world, that goes hand in hand with sacred union. When you know yourself well enough to understand when a connection is truly energetically consensual, very good term, when there's energetic consent, that means you're equally yoked, you're equally connected, you have a resonance that is an authentic match. If you don't know yourself, if you haven't done the healing work, you will not be able to discern if that is happening. You will chase because you won't be savvy to the cues that says no. You will be in an unrealistic expectation because you won't understand why not, or what the value of having mutuality would be. So on the sacral chakra, we're clearing all of those burdens that come from the forcing it, or the misalignments, settling energy, codependent energy. And we're dropping the guard because now it's safe to know we're worthy of love, to understand what that is when we experience it, and to be receptive to it and allow it to happen, because now it's accessible. We've been growing, we've been learning, we've been changing and shifting, and now we're beginning to see the result of that exchanged between counterparts. We're beginning to see it kick off in a new, honoring, what a patient becoming, a new way is emerging here. How are the masculines experiencing this on the sacral? Oh, yeah. So they're coming into their full conscious empowerment here. This is the sensual, monogamous, shamanic lover, the tantric lover, the masterful, accountable tantric lover. And this is reunion energy. So this empowerment and this process the masculines are undergoing is qualifying them to connect with the feminine and never need to let them go. So no more hot and cold ghosting. What is the emotion associated? Fear in the inverse. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Yeah, they are testing their resolve before they come forward once and for all and say, will you be mine in this life? Ooh, just got hit with a wave. They want to be in sacred union with their feminines, and they are preparing. They are dispelling the fear. They are dropping the guard. They are overcoming the burden. They are embodying that truth so they can come forward and look you in the eye, feminines, and you will believe them when they say, I was blind, but now I see. I see. They're no longer going to allow fear to cause them to not see clearly. We got that message a bit for the feminine. What are the feminines experiencing in this release? Feminines are putting down the heartache because it's no longer a fear of whether they're going to be betrayed by a masculine. They now see energetic alignment, compatibility in a different interpretation. It's no longer guesswork. The feminines are seeing the evidence of true affinity. They see the tandem effort, concerted effort that the two counterparts have been making in growth, in rising up, in perseverance, in truth, in love. There are justified awarenesses that have proven over the test of time, the different experiences to the feminines, that the two are on the same page. And so there's trust. There's genuine trust here. They don't fear being betrayed because they're not going to get into anything prematurely that doesn't warrant, doesn't have that foundation of trust beforehand. Karmic situations, codependent situations are notorious for getting enmeshed and then saying, you betrayed me. But there was no trust established to begin with. It was wishful thinking. And so these connections are proving to the feminines over the good times and the bad, sickness and in health, all of that stuff, that they are standing the test of time even prior to having a commitment in a traditional sense. And so the feminines are letting go of this heartache because there's safety in these connections. It is a love that surpasses guesswork. There is a qualification that has been happening over time in these connections that warrants the connections. What is the advice? Divination, intuition, inner vision. So feminines, you will know if what I just channeled is authentic for your connection or not. These slow motion connections have been establishing this foundational truth. If your connection has not been offering you that, you may not be in your aligned connection. Only you will know. Trust your inner vision. Tap in deeply. If you cannot imagine your person being what is channeled in this reading for you, consider letting go and believing somebody more aligned can come in. You deserve love. What can we see on the root chakra? Gone but not gone. And we also have, wow, the sun coming out, transformation. Okay, and there's that living situation again and the energetics about it. There's a hermit mode right now while we're going deep, and cycles that need to clear out for love offers to come in and equal give and take. So I heard the angels and all of your guides, your ancestors are all working on this behind the scenes to bring in love. It's a multi-dimensional project on planet Earth. But right now we've got this gone but not gone and union energies being established, being warranted here. So grounded in the physical, there's some preparation being made that's going to come to light about necessity, bringing the two together for purpose, but also for true benefit, without agendas, actual synergy, actual harmony, bringing the two into further alignment, blending. What can we see for the masculines here? The sweetness. Yeah, they're looking at all of the agendas of all the people that they've ever associated with. They're buzzing around them and everybody running around with like chickens with their head cut off. And then in this connection, it's just sweet. They're like, duh, like this particular connection is my happy place. There's no drama. It's funny. It's sexy. It's fun. It's creative. Why didn't I see this sooner? It's heaven on earth. It's peace. Let that storm brew outside. This is the eye of the storm, the solace. The masculines are seeing that more clearly than ever. Wow, masculine's eyes are really being opened. What is the emotion associated? Acceptance. Yeah, I'm learning to accept the things I cannot change. That means all the karmic buzz, the busy karmic energy everywhere with people scrambling to make sense of their reality. The masculines have found center. They're finding home. They're finding love here. And they are accepting that true love doesn't change. It's constant. Karmic energy is always mayhem. And they're in two worlds. They're in the world but not of that karmic world anymore. And they're accepting the truth of that division of worlds. Wow, masculines. And that also is another thing you can say to your feminine when you come back around and say, I see the division of worlds. I see the gift. Alignment with you is in this crazy world. Whoa. What are the feminines experiencing? I thought I would make it through a reading without crying, everyone. Wow, the feminines are really feeling the love. They're watching. They're waiting. They're sensing it. The feminines are intuitive. They're feeling it. Feminines, you're daring to believe in it and keep holding out for it, not settling, you know? You know it's coming. It's coming, feminines. It's coming. What is the advice? Enthusiasm, learning, generosity, and fortune. Be in high frequency. Tap into your abundance. Keep doing what you know you need to do to just live your best life. It will happen when you least suspect it. Okay, many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.